Good evening, people. Welcome to the Keeping It Real Conversation Show with your host Camila, aka Sunshine. It is a special edition tonight. It is Friday, February 23rd, 2024. As I always say, we are happy to be, of course, in the land of the living. It could have been another way, but tonight God has so fit that we are here tonight. Please let somebody know that we are live on the Facebook page. We're live on the YouTube channel. The name of the show, please like, share, and subscribe. We are live on Twitch and X, formerly known as Twitter. Please let them know that we are here. You don't want to miss this conversation. As I always state, I have some of the dopest people on this side of heaven. Tonight is no different than any other night. Also, I believe in 6 degrees of separation. You're literally one person away, one advice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny, proven over and over again since I started this show in 2020. Well, this guest tonight is the second time he's been on, but this time he is by himself. But I can't say anything about him without saying anything about his queen, who is my big sister, my inspiration for doing what I do, and she is good at what she do. If you know anything about this man, then you know his mirror, his better half.
Yes.
Maria, but and TC from the D, and she is in the building. So I thank her for sharing her husband tonight. So let's get into his bio real quick, and then we're going to get into this wonderful conversation that I have been waiting for. And you have been waiting for it. The village, let's go. Swifty McVay is a rapper from the D. When I say D, I mean Detroit, not Dallas. All right, let's get it together. And he is a member of the multi-platinum hip-hop group D12. Swifty McVay was a part of another rap group from 93 to 97 called, what's their names?
The Rabies.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The group was signed to Robbins Entertainment, BMG, which later disbanded shortly after. He joined the group D12, which included the one and only Eminem. Swifty McVay has appeared on all D12 albums and has 13 solo albums along with 3 mixtapes. He has performed in over 20 worldwide tours with a host of other internationally known hip-hop artists like none other than. Are y'all ready? Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, Nate Dogg, Dog Pound, Dub C, just to name a few, and is featured on several different projects with other prominent, internationally known hip-hop artists. He has been featured in 6 movies, including The Longest Yard, starring Adam Sandler and Chris Rock. He also guest starred in several theatrical stage plays, including the phenomenal hit stage play Peerless Times, written and directed by one and only TJ Hemphill. You guys, I want you to welcome Swifty.
What up, though?
What it is.
Thanks for the intro, Sunshine.
As always, I can't help but to smile and get excited for this conversation, especially when you are in the presence of really good, dope people. Okay, really dope people. I still got to get our time. Was this supposed to be with my husband or without my husband? However, the time with you guys, you and TT, y'all still owe me.
Okay. We pay our debts.
So tonight I'm just, like I said, I'm excited. I am grateful for your success. I am grateful to be in your presence once again, to kick off this conversation. I want to start with where did this name come from?
Okay. First of all, I just want to say thank you for having me on your platform. Allowing me to speak to the people or whatnot. But I actually got my name. My name Swift was actually my nickname when I was little. Swift. I was very athletic. If it wasn't for this music, I'd probably be trying to do the Olympics or something. I was good at backflipping, and I used to always watch the Olympics when it came on. So I was real fast. So that was my nickname, Swift. So I turned it into my rap name because everybody already knew me by that name. I didn't want to think about no rap name and just start over. So I was like, okay, let me just call myself Swift because that's what I'm known for. But when the McVay came along, it was like a metaphor for the I don't know if you remember Timothy McVay, who
Mm-hmm.
actually got convicted from bombing the Oklahoma buildings back in
Yes.
the 90s. I actually took his last name and put it a part of my last name as a metaphor for blowing up the record industry. Yeah, it's just a hip hop metaphorical uh thing going on with that. So like when I got with D12, we had to get two identities, and Swift was one identity. Swifty McVay was my second identity, and I took the last name from Timothy McVay and added to mine as a metaphor. And I said to myself, I'm gonna blow up the industry one day. So it was that type of thing, and just kept it and rolled with it.
Who would have thought? Well, of course you did, because I sure wouldn't have. Like, is that his real last name? Like, what is his real name? Like,
Yeah, Timothy McVay was his name.
we talking about you. I'm
Oh,
like, I didn't listen. So I think I told you this before. Last time, I wasn't really into listening to rap because most of it I couldn't relate to, and
okay.
some people when they did rap, I couldn't understand what they were saying. So me R&B and gospel was my thing. Okay.
Okay.
So it's been years in this industry of the things that you have been doing successfully. What has been one thing that you see has truly changed the industry since you started?
The one thing that has truly changed in the industry,
Yes.
it's a number of things that changed. One thing that I can say is the way that music is sold. We went from tapes to CDs to where people can tangibly have things in their hand, going into the record stores and buying a product where record sales counted. Then it turned into this digital world, which kind of warped everything, in my opinion. That changed tremendously. The way that people view record companies and how they run record companies changed. To where it turned into where a lot of the executives love the art. Now it switched into a thing to where it's all about money. It's not about the art no more. It's more about money. That's another thing that changed. In journalism, the way journalism view artists, like back in the 90s coming up, a lot of journalists would empower the artists that was on their platform. Now there's a lot of journalists out there that don't even want to empower. They'll call the artist whack to millions of people, and not realizing that influences people to not even want to buy the record. But in the 90s, you never really heard radio personalities and journalists give that type of criticism to artists. You know what I'm saying? If they was good enough to be on your platform, you built them up and showed them love. Now you got journalists like, no, that's whack, and I don't like this, and it's a lot of that done changed too. So those three things is three of the main components that I can say that changed over the years. It's probably a few more that changed too, but those are the three that stands out.
Yeah. A lot of the there are a few platforms that I listen to regularly. One of them is the R&B Money podcast with Tank and Jay Valentine. And they usually bring on different people from all sides of the industry, whether you're the person that's designing the clothes, whether it's A&R, whether it's the artist itself, and they give a lot of wisdom into or insight, the good and the bad of the industry. And as you stated, a lot of that has been on their conversation on this particular podcast of how the industry has changed over the years, or even into one of the main things is artist development. How the hours is not spent like it used to. With social media, you could be on a TikTok or on Instagram and blow up versus putting the time into really truly being an artist.
Yeah.
So I understand it and I get it. I understand and I get it. With you being in the game, how many years have you been rapping?
Ooh, I've been rapping my whole entire life. I could say since I was 5 years old. I was I was
Really?
yeah, I was 5 or 6 years old when I started rapping, and this is all I ever wanted to do. Like
Really?
that's all I ever wanted to do. So I had a chance to watch it evolve over the years and just watch people come in and set the blueprint to what's yet to come growing up, and I had a chance to just change with the times, and I was able to see everything grow and just change into this $1 billion industry. At the age of 5, I took notice to all of it. And if it wasn't for this music, I don't know what I would do. This is, it's almost like jumping out without a parachute.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now I've heard in conversation with other people at 5, if they're an actor or an actress, that they were, playing with their dolls, having conversations like they're on stage and things of that nature. But I don't recall a rapper saying that this is all they ever wanted to do. So for you at 5, was it a influence from in the home, in your neighborhood? What was on TV? What was on the radio? Who was it that said, or for you that just caught your attention?
I always loved to listen to rap music when I heard it on the radio. But when I was at my grandmother's house one day, and I walked into her room and the TV was on, when I saw Run DMC on that screen, and I didn't know what was going on, all I seen is they had on the leather jackets with the hats, and they had this swag about themselves, and I was just watching mesmerized, not knowing what I was listening to. But when I heard Run say, Calvin Klein, no friend of mine, don't want nobody's name on my behind. When he said that, I instantly knew what Calvin Klein was. My sister had all the jeans. I'm like, oh, that was clever. And that just made me want to write clever stuff. All I know is I didn't know anything else until that line that made me want to write clever stuff. So after that, that's when I got the pen and paper and tried to write clever lines that had metaphorical effects to it and things of that nature. So to boil it down, I think Run DMC was the ones that gave me the swag. I used to actually it was a elementary school across the street from my grandmother. It was closed down. In the corridors, I used to actually stand in the corridors with a stick in my hand, using it as a microphone, rapping because I loved the way my voice bounced off the walls when I was young, and it made me think I was in a coliseum with echoes and things of that nature. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things about this platform that I love. You have, of course, is a form of journalism, but at the same time, you get questions that you probably won't get from like a Vibe magazine or something like that, who's really, really interested in you. I think the last time we had a conversation with your wife, and I thought about it later on, like, you didn't ask him how he came up with his name. How did he get into this? Because we were talking about marriage at the time.
Right.
So now that I have you as the career, this is what you're doing. I have so many questions when it comes to how you became who you were. And that's amazing to me to see that it started at 5, you knowing that this is the only thing that you wanted to do. So at 5, going into school, how did you portray when they ask you the question, oh, okay, what do you want to be when you grow up? what was your answer?
I wanted to be a star. That's what
Okay.
that was my. I didn't never say a rapper until I got older, but rapping is what I love. But when people ask me what I want to be when I grew up, I wanted to be a star. That will be the answer, But rapping is what it was, Yeah. So me and my friends, we took. I mean, I took it super serious. I used to walk to school. We used to walk about a mile to school, and I used to tell my friends. I used to say, "We're gonna walk from this block to this block. We're gonna rap all Run DMC songs." And then when we got to the point, I said, "Okay, from this spot to this spot, we're gonna rap all the Fat Boy songs." We used to do that every day. I used to have like beatbox battles on the playground, and when I was little, all that type of stuff I went on. So I was into it real
Wow.
strong. Yeah.
That is amazing. So for me,
Yeah.
um, when I look and listen to rap outside of experience or things that you may have seen that was going on in the world in your local neighborhoods and things of that nature, as far as that in school, did you really take a liking to English?
Uh, you know what? No, not like I should, to be honest. Music. I mean, I did the English. I didn't concentrate on it like I should have, because I think just this music thing overpowered my mind. When I got into junior high school, I thank God I was always blessed with somebody who took me up under their wing when I got 12 years old. If that didn't work, somebody always wanted to manage me. I always got connected with producers who wanted to make beats for me growing up. Went out of town to New York City at the age of 16 with no appointments, barging in record companies, writing down addresses on paper, saying, "Okay, we're gonna go here." And here I am at 16 years old. My mother let me drive out of town with cats 3 or 4 years older than me, to try to get a record deal. So I devoted my whole school life, teenage life, into trying to make it. And
Wow.
yeah,
That's amazing. And on the simple fact that your mom knew how passionate you were,
yeah,
is something different when you have a rebellious child, right? And you trying to figure out what can I do to, keep them alive, keep them hopeful in the world of where we are now.
yeah,
Um, and I would think one of the backbones to rapping would be English. That's why
yeah,
I asked. Like, you got to be able to, write the words or be able to formulate sentences for one. And also the concept of what you're seeing in your head or what you're hearing to actually put that on paper. That's why I was
yeah.
like, okay, were you a scholar at English or you just was like flowing with the beats? Because I know as a creator for myself, I write better to music
Okay,
versus the other way around. So I
okay,
can hear something and be like, oh, that'll go with. Usually, I can get the vamp or yeah, and then write around it, um,
yeah.
versus just writing something down and then finding a beat. So, was it easy for you in that light of hearing the beat and then writing to the beat, or writing something out and then finding the beat to that?
Okay, good question. What I used to do was I had my whole thing mapped out. I used to sit at the table when I was little. I didn't have any music at the time. So I used to create these beats in my head and actually create the lyrics to the beats in my head. So
Okay.
here's a fun fact that used to always happen. So when I used to sit at my mother's kitchen table and write my raps or whatever, and I had the beat already going on in my head, so I knew what the rhythm was to the beat because rap stands for rhythm and poetry. So you have the poetic side and then you have the beat in your head. So when I used to go outside and play, I used to always come back to get my papers and then I forgot the rhythm on how to say it. And I used to always say to myself, somebody read my raps. So I used to always say, somebody cursed my raps by reading them because they didn't know what beat was going on in my head. So they didn't know how to say it, which means I messed up trying to say it myself. That's how I knew when people actually read my raps, whatever. So I used to create album titles and say, okay, this title go have this beat in my head. And whenever I get to the studio, whenever I go, I don't know when I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna make sure I rap off of this beat. So I had everything mapped out in my head. But when I finally got to the studio at a later age, that's when I mastered the art of writing to music. I already used to write beforehand and used to try to match the lyrics to the beats. But then I got into the zone of actually writing to the beat. It's almost like building your house makes you feel better when you actually writing to the beat versus trying to match your lyrics to the beat.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I find it a lot easier to break the words up. Or however, you want to do the chorus, the hooks, and things of that nature. And so that's a very good way to put that, because everybody creates music differently.
Yeah.
Sometimes even in the moment of what we're going to speak about, it takes a life of its own. Sometimes I found that a lot of my creativity came from heartache.
Okay.
Or just being in a different zone of like beating or defeating, I would say, depression or something like that. And so when I would hear certain beats, I'm like, oh, I could talk about that. Sounds like this sounds like you going to war. So we're gonna talk about those type of things that once they heard it, it was like, wow, how did you come up with that? That was, as you say, clever.
Yeah.
And so unfortunately, I've never listened to your music.
Okay.
I have to be honest. Again, I told you from jump, I wasn't into rap, so that didn't move me. Certain things of as we think 80s, 90s, it was the beats that made you jump up and move and dance and things, but I wasn't paying attention to the words.
Gotcha.
But for somebody who is not familiar with D12, I'm sure people know who Eminem is, but again, I wasn't really listening to that. Can you explain to them your type of rap music?
I'm what you consider a hardcore MC. It's different from gangster rap. A lot of people might say I rap gangster rap, but I'm more of a hardcore MC, meaning not so much the gangster style like NWA, although I was influenced by NWA.
Mm-hmm.
My rap style was more of a hardcore edge, but it had a lot to do with battle rapping,
Okay.
if you will. So when people battle rap, it's almost like you're contending against each other. But with my style, it had more of a metaphorical phrase as far as a grungy type of spirit. Like for example, I used to say stuff when I was young about how much my words was the bullets, my tongue is the clip, things like that in a metaphorical way, and it just kind of evolved into some grungy hardcoreness to where people be like, wow, okay. Then when I got with D12, it just took on a whole nother light of its own, and people called it shock value, but it wasn't like we were trying to rap for shock value. So to answer your question, I'm more of a hardcore MC / battle rapper. That's my roots. But now as I got older, I've learned to adapt to be able to rap about any subject. When you get older, you grow and you tend to reinvent yourself many, many times. And I find myself as a rapper that can actually adapt to any kind of flavor. A lot of rappers say, you know what, I won't rap on gospel songs. I won't rap on an R&B track. I won't rap on a diss track. But me, I've evolved enough to where I can jump into these different zones where I'm not afraid for my audience to see me in those lights now. I'm not just stuck in one box. I used to be stuck in one box, but now I'm not stuck in that one hardcore box. Now I've learned to adapt to the R&B features. If somebody was gospel and asked me to rap on a song, I would do it because I know exactly how to adapt. And I'm saying it humbly, to adapt to each flavor that I can jump on right now, universally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So this year, and I explained that I wanted to talk about Black love. I wanted to not only portray more couples this year, but I also wanted to show the love of what I do. why I love to do what I do. For you, have you ever had any or what is the craziest thing has happened to you on tour? Like, for instance, a fan might come up and like rap your music to yourself, to you, or it might be those moments of they heard a specific thing that you said that changed their life. What is something similar to something like that?
I've had moments to where I had a lot of cats come up to say, you know what, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be rapping right now. You inspired me to do certain things in life, as far as musically, and it just blows me away. And this is why I do what I do. It's for that, there's been a lot of crazy moments where fans try to get to you. I experienced that too, but for fans to come up and say you're the one who inspired me to want to rap, that's what keeps me going right there. Because when I was young, there were artists who set the blueprint that inspired me to want to rap, and that's what makes me say thank you, God, for allowing me to find my place into this thing called hip hop. Because now I done gave the juice to someone else that's gonna come up in the game to give that same juice to somebody else, and that's the whole blessing out of it.
So, and I ask this of artists most of the time, if you could rap with someone or collaborate with somebody, dead or alive, who would it be?
Woo. Sade.
Really? Wow. Now
Yep.
that I would have never thought.
Yep. I would love to collaborate with Sade. I'm a Sade fan. I've always been a Sade fan since I was young. And now that I'm older, Sade is one of those artists who's still good, and she still holds a certain kind of mystique and to herself, and she does her thing, she steps out, she comes back, does her thing, steps out. And her and Prince, I would have loved to do a song with Prince. I was just I'm a big Prince fan. Like, I have to tell people all the time that I love Prince over Michael Jackson. That's just my preference. I love Mike, but Prince was my guy. You know what I'm saying? So them two right there was we the ones I would love to collaborate with if I had a chance to.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now that is amazing. I
Yeah.
would have never thought Sade. Prince with the ability to play all instruments, to go into any genre of music, I can see that. But Sade, you know, I think for me, Sade holds um, a light in my life during high school,
Yeah.
for reasons that we're not going to discuss here. But however,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
Sade was the one, and
Yeah.
so she definitely. It was years I could not listen to her because it would take me back to um, my high school days, and
Yeah.
so now I appreciate her melodic way of expressing herself through the words, as well as it was nobody like doing music like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, how she used different instruments and things of that nature. It was amazing. It's still amazing. And people still to this day like, man, Sade need to have a concert or do something because she's to me, um, along with Anita Baker, along with of course Whitney and different ones that's missing in the industry. Like you have these, powerhouse voices that when you hear them, you know who they are for one, and it'll always bring you back to a memory in your life.
Yeah.
And so I agree with that. Let me see where I'm gonna go from here. It's so many things. I'm telling you, I had so many questions before of our conversations with when we were together before. Um, let's see. Your wife is saying, who is someone Swifty worked with that made him feel like, wow, I'm working with?
Hmm. Um. I can say Snoop. I actually got a song in the vault with Snoop Dogg. You know, this was way before I actually toured with Snoop before I toured with him last year. And within that time, I actually had a chance to go to his house and we recorded a song. And as I was sitting there writing and he was over there vibing, that's that one time that made me feel like, wow, I can't believe I'm in here collaborating with Snoop Dogg. You know what I'm saying? So that was a blessing to be able to come to the studio, not only perform on stage with him, but to get a chance to vibe. And the song never came out, but it was a blessing to be able to have that moment in the studio. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
What is your most memorable tour?
The Up and Smoke tour is the Dr. Dre Up and Smoke tour was the very first tour that D12 ever went on. That was my most memorable one. That's the one I learned the most from. That's the one I could say I had the most fun. Because you got to think, here I am. I just got signed back in '99 to Shady Records, and then the very next year, I'm on tour with Dr. Dre and Dog Pound. So that right there, at a young age, you know, just kind of blew my mind, and you know what I was seeing and experiencing, being in the same, you know, room with the legends at that time, and it happened so fast. That goes down as one of my most memorable tours. Uh, the Up and Smoke. Yeah.
So, one of the also things that we have to talk about in, keeping it real, sometimes entertainment can be up and down the
Yeah.
industry. Have you ever had those moments when you like, how I'm gonna make ends meet? If people are changing how they're buying music, how they're um, buying even merch or anything like that. Have you ever had one of those moments like, I don't know how I'm gonna make it?
It was one of those moments to where when I realized how much the streaming has stepped in and affected the game. It was one of those moments when I didn't understand it as fully. I had to scratch my head and say, you know what I'm gonna do, how I'm gonna do this, because the whole dynamics of how music was being sold was changing. You had this CD thing where you was comfortable in. Then you had this thing called Napster. I don't know if you remember Napster that
Mm-hmm.
came out in 2003, 2004, and all the major artists' music was getting snatched for free. So when that was happening, that's when I felt that, you could see Ludacris, you could see Snoop Dogg, all these big artists' music was on here for free, and it was taking money out of the artists' mouths. And then it kind of evolved into this social media thing to where now they're trying to give you pennies upon pennies for music that you work hard doing. And that just made me feel like, you know what, my work ethic has to change enormously now. I can't just work seldom. I have to work a little bit more and make more music, because the more music you have, the more it'll count. Then when the pandemic came, there wasn't no more shows and there wasn't no more performances. And I actually literally thought in my mind, like, yo, this is it. I would never be able to tour again. I really literally thought that in my head during the pandemic. So that was one time I thought in my mind, like, yo, I don't, this might be it. You got Napster taking the music for free. You got the streaming services giving you pennies for music. Now you got the pandemic stopping people from coming to see your shows. What is there for artists to do at that time? I'm glad that everything changed now, but at that time it was a little scary.
So for you, is it, let me change how things are being, I guess for me, if I was an artist, I'd be like, let me try to get my stuff on the track, a movie track, or something that is almost guaranteed money. With outside of touring, of course, would be like movie tracks or something else where you can actually get that type of um, not only experience but also in a movie
Yeah,
back in the day we had uh they would tell who did what song and what scene, whatever. and that led people to come find you. Have you ever thought about, more soundtracks?
Absolutely. I actually did a whole entire soundtrack for a movie that I was in back in 2018 called Devil's Night: Dawn of the Nan Rouge. It's like a thriller horror flick, and I was blessed to not only be a part of the soundtrack, but I did the whole entire soundtrack. I was on every song. So me in acting was another thing that I actually got into way before the pandemic, but I got to it even much stronger after the pandemic started, because that was one thing in my head. I said, you know what, I need to go ahead and try to do something else outside of music. And although acting was something that I was already in, soundtracks and placements and things of that nature, I got into that even more, you know. But I think one of the biggest things to answer your question is, and this is for a lot of artists who may be listening, the independence of getting rid of the middleman and try to capitalize off your own independence. Like, you know, a lot of people wanted to get signed and want to be under the machine, which is the record label, but that pandemic taught me that we don't have time for the middleman to get money from you. You need to get all this money on your own without them. So what can you do to build your platform to where you're putting out music, you're putting out merch, you're doing everything where it can all come back to you. So all the things that you didn't do, as far as crossing all your T's and dotting your I's, it's time to do it to where all that money can come back to you and kind of get rid of the middleman, because things has changed. The dynamic of how music is being sold has changed. We just don't have time to have a middleman trying to take money from out your pocket when all that can go to your pocket on your own. So that was in my mind as well. So I just made sure I got deep in depth into that aspect of the game.
Um, that is, sometimes you just, you got to catch the hint and learn the lessons. Um, and that's that moment of these these conversations like this is to help someone who's trying to get into the industry, who's whatever their inspiration is. This is why we have people like yourself to come here and be open and honest about your journey, because some people think because you see them at a high that is always like that, or they don't understand that it don't happen overnight.
Yeah.
Success don't happen overnight.
Yeah. Gotta
So
gotta stay consistent. Got to. Especially in today's climate, with where music is in today's time, you have to stay consistent, because it's so many, and I don't want to say the word distractions. I just want to say it's just so much of everything in today's time. You got artists that used to listen to on the radio, and you can only get it when you heard the radio, or you can only get it when you seen video shows like TRL or BET and Rap City and things of that nature. Now you have YouTube that just have exploiting artists with all different kind of flavors, and you got to learn how to get in where you fit in. So your whole mindset and your work ethic just has to be different, because if you lack or lag, somebody can come and jump in that place super quick. So
mhm.
you know, it's really on you and how much you really want it, and you just got to stay with it every moment. You know, you can't be
Speaking
crazy.
of keeping it moving, right? So I heard a little birdie, and even out of your own mouth, we're gonna talk about this Canada tour, right?
Okay, okay.
So when does this Canada tour begin?
The Canadian tour, it starts March 5th, and this is actually the 20th anniversary, D12's 20th anniversary tour, and this is Obi Trice's 20th anniversary tour. We're celebrating the D12 World album that dropped in 2004 in April, and Obi Trice is celebrating his album Cheers that came out 20 years ago as well. So since we were label mates back in the days, and we just thought it would be only right for us to come together and to bring that same nostalgia to Canada, because you know Canada been always been a good market for us. So we're gonna go ahead and do 42 dates over there, and celebrate 20 years of D12 World album and Obi Trice Cheers album.
That's what's up. So as you stated, March 5th is kicking off the tour.
Yep.
42 cities or 42 dates
Yep.
in Canada. Which brings me to I had caught wind. TT hit me up like, I don't know what you're doing, but can you promote on your show for Swifty? And I'm like, girl, what you think? What do you think? So we were promoting your meet and greet that was going to be March 2nd.
Yeah.
But because of the tour and all the things that are going on with that, you had to make a decision to postpone it, which I get it. I mean, you have rehearsals, you got all of these different things, and getting ready for this major tour that's coming up. So I did want to let the people know that the date of March 2nd has been postponed. I will definitely, maybe 2 months, 3 months from now, we will have that information again for this meet and greet with this amazing artist. I also wanted to state that he will have another new solo project this year.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Queen. Yes, I got a new solo project this year. It's actually called Gray Rose. That's the name of it. It's a 26 song album. It's a double.
26.
Yeah, it's a double album.
Lord.
Yeah. No features.
What?
No features. I'm actually doing an album with my brothers from Toronto, Canada. They're called 80 Empire. Big shout out to 80 Empire. There's two brothers. One is the producer, the other is a vocalist, and we're doing an album together. So it's an 80 Empire. Swifty McVay presents Gray Rose. But as far as outside features, it's just really on me. The one of the brothers is actually singing on the choruses, and then the other brother produced the whole entire record. So it's 26 songs, and this album is going to be a little bit different because I'm digging deep into my life and stories, and it's going to be a lot of content. It's songs for the women, songs about faith, and songs about keeping the faith, and songs and stories about what happened when I grew up. So it's just a very well-rounded conceptual album where when people listen to it, they're going to say, wow, I didn't know these things, and I'm listening to Swifty in a whole nother light. So it's one of my reinvention type records, as if you will. Yeah.
So now I'm mad at you. Ask me why I'm mad.
Why are you mad?
Because you could have reached out to me on the vocals. What?
Uh-oh. Well, you know what? I'm always working, Queen. Always working. And now that I know, we can always put something. I was talking about work ethic, so we always got it. We got to stay strong in the studio so that it won't end there. Let's put something together.
I'm like, all these people around me. Do I have to? So
let me clear my throat before I give them the
right.
news.
Come on now. Also, with the spirit of constantly moving, this Mr. here also has an audio book called 7 Star. It also comes with music. Is this on Amazon?
Yes, it's an audio book. It's a 3.5, 4 hour audio book, autobiography about my whole life. Everything that we've actually talked about in the beginning of this interview is on this book. So, the story about me growing up with, the Run DMC story in there in detail, how I met D12, things that happened way before D12, when I got with different record labels and things of that nature. This is my whole journey. And then the songs that's connected to it are songs that reflect with the story. So you might hear some songs on there that has a lot to do with the story as well. So when you get the audiobook, those songs will come with it. Yep. So it's on Amazon. It's called The 7 Star.
Well, everybody, I want you, as always, to support every guest that come on here. But again, this is a special one for me. Not only is a special day because it's on Friday, but again, who he is in the life of my big sister, TT. she's a very special woman, a very special woman,
And she,
along with a very special man who they're definitely doing it big in the industry. And so I appreciate God putting us together and being in the same circles to be able to have this conversation and to allow you to promote yourself
thank
and the
you.
things that you have done, the things that you're doing, and the things to come. And I'm still amazed at 5 that God gave you the vision or the stirring in your spirit that this is who you were going to become.
Yep.
That's amazing to me. And when I think about it, going back into even my own childhood, growing up in church, it was these uh, theater things, uh, Easter plays, and writing, and all these things I was doing in church, not
Mm,
realizing it was going to come full circle.
yeah.
Start doing it as a career.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, for me, um, that's going to be a new way of saying things as far as entertainment being a career. Because usually I was, a regular 9 to 5 person, and now stepping into a different level in my life of going forth in the entertainment world, whether I'm singing, whether I'm dancing, whether I'm on stage acting, um, and meeting these awesome people. Again, my whole point is to take this podcast or the concept of this podcast to the TV,
Yeah.
um, to be able to really truly help people tell their stories. Um, I got to get there. I have to get there. I know I'm going to get there with the help of the village and people like you. Um, you're welcome, TT. You already know how much I love you.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
Your gifts will definitely make room for you, Queen. As my queen tell me, I'm telling you, your gifts will definitely make room for you. You will. Just continue to put that out in the atmosphere. And then your passion is going to nudge at you and allow you to put yourself into those zones anyway. Even when you feel like you got writer's block, your passion going to say, hello, you ain't got writer's block. It's time to get back in there. Yep. It's going to always do it. You know what I'm saying? So you got this.
and this is the season when you really look at it, like all in the point of celebrating hip hop. You see some of the legends coming back out. I just saw Scarface is about to go on tour again. So this music world is not going to end. It's just how you said, how you navigate, how you change up to present it in a different package.
Yep.
It's still the same gift. It's
Yep.
just a different way that you're packaging the gift. So again, I'm super excited. I do have three things that these 2 words is very important to me. This is one of my um, heartstrings that I do what I do is to uplift it and empower. So for you, what are you doing or what you continue to do to uplift and empower people?
Continue to try to be a light of positivity. Um, and uplift and encourage because I mean, pray for people when they ask for it, and just kind of just be that good energy of light for people who need it because like I said, God has blessed me to be in a position to where people took me up under their wing when I was young. So when I see people outside selling CDs or whatever, I try to show love and don't push them away. You know what I'm saying? Because I know God gave me an opportunity to be up under somebody's wing, and I want to be able to get that back too. So through music, I always listen to people, and when they ask questions, I hold conversations and just try to be that light for them. I don't want to be that artist to say, because as an artist, we are here to provide a service for the people. It's not just about music. We are here to provide a service. So no matter what's going on in your life, we are here to provide a service, to be that light to the people when we are approached. So I just try to do that to the best of my ability because it may be a time where somebody may not never want an autograph again. It may be a time where people don't may not never. You got to embrace these moments and give that energy to the ones who need it, because this is what God placed you here for, not just to do music, but to be that light. So this is what I'm gonna try to exercise forever. I don't see myself quitting. So it all coincides with each other. Music, studio, concert, be a light to somebody who wanna make it in this game, however I can. I'm that,
Absolutely.
I'm that one who TT will tell you, I'm that one who shuts down the club. So after shows and we doing meet and greets and it's almost empty inside the place, my security guard got to call my name because I'm still there talking to fans. Like, oh, okay, I gotta go. Because you just want to give them as much as you can. If you never know when you're gonna see that artist again. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to be that to them. So
It's called, it pays to be nice. If I could say anything to anyone, the doors that I have been afforded to, or the people that I have met, is because it pays to be nice. It pays to be humble, and people will come and favor will follow you. Of course, there's the thing of this is something God wants to do through you,
yeah,
but it also pays to be nice. If I was mean and nasty to TT the first time I met her, um, and I turn around and meet her somewhere else 2 or 3 different times, it would have never been in this relationship that we are in now. Um, and that's how that goes. You never know. That first encounter can make or break you, literally.
yeah. And it's all when they say people gonna always remember how you made them feel. I'm gonna tell you a quick little story, and I'm not gonna say the name, but I was actually at an old school concert where I was paying homage to all the old school artists that was on stage, and it was just one particular old school artist who was performing. I was singing every word to the song or whatever. So I'm taking pictures with people. So when I finally seen this artist backstage, um, my homeboy, he got ties to the industry. So when he stopped him, it wasn't nobody with him. It was a perfect time to say something to him. So he was like, "Yo, man, Swifty, he want to go ahead and take a picture with you." As soon as I grabbed my phone, he looked and was like, "Man, this shit is irritating." And he had a mean face, and I was like, and then when he seen my face, like I was about to walk away, then he looked, he was like, man, come on. So we stood there, we took a picture. He had the little mean face. And when I was looking, I said, the world would never know what happened before this picture, but my spirit didn't even want to post it. I
Yeah.
didn't even, you know what I'm saying? The energy was so much on the level of, I'm glad. I mean, I had this moment with you, but now it's gone. It's dampered. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So you're gonna always a person. You can always remember how a person made you feel.
absolutely. Um,
Yeah,
in the industry, I've heard several artists even say that about their favorite person. Like, wow, I would have never known. And again, we have to understand that we're all humans,
yeah,
and what we see and what we portray might be two different things. Of you are a character. You are pretending to be what we think you are. But again, it is a heartbreaking kind of situation to be up here and then you're deflated because of that moment right there.
yeah,
We're not knowing what happened prior to them saying or having an encounter with you. But at any moment, you have to be, because you never know.
yeah,
That moment right there.
yeah. And I, and like I say, we are human, and I do respect it wholeheartedly. And there's times, you're not gonna always feel good. Things might happen that might make you feel, you might be in the mood, a different mood, But like we said, as artists that have a platform and people support you, our job is to present a service to these people. When we go out into the world, when we walk into the stores, we might feel a certain way deep down, but that shouldn't reflect on when a person talking to you. You got to put that to the side because you know it is what it is. It's part of the game.
You never know, especially if it's years of um, having this love for this person and they say something off the wall to you, and some people might not be in a space to bounce back. And
Yeah,
now their world has been rocked because who they looked up to had a bad experience.
yeah.
The last word I wanted to get into is the balanced life.
Okay.
Knowing that you're married, you have children, um, and you this is your life as far as what you do on a day-to-day basis. What does a balanced life look like for you?
A balanced life is a good is good. A balanced life is a good life because as an entrepreneur in this music business, you setting the tone, and you're blessed to be able to set the tone. So if you're an entrepreneur and you have your own studio and you creating, you can take the time out to prioritize it the way you need to prioritize it, and that's the blessing of it. To be able to, like I'll give you an example, like me recording in different studios for years and years and years. There's people who love to leave the house to go record, but I thank God that I was put in a position to where I can have the studio in my house. So with that being said, I'm able to record a couple of verses and then come up and eat dinner with the family, talk, whatever. There's not no pressure. There's not you're not putting any anxiety on yourself about it. You know what I'm saying? So you setting the tone. You're able to set. You're blessed to where you're able to set the tone with your work. So it's just all about prioritizing and making sure it's comfortable because your family needs you, and you need to work. So it's up to you to prioritize it the way you need to prioritize it, the way it's comfortable on both ends, so you can be stress free about how you go about it. So balanced life is a good life.
Absolutely. Especially when I was asked the question of how do you balance everything? How do you have like 4 or 5 hats that you wear? Come on, TT. You on one project to another. You're constantly on the go. When do you have time for family? When do you have time for yourself? Of course, I can't do what I do if I'm sick, if I'm stressed, if I'm not feeling my best. How
Yeah.
can I give what I don't have?
Right.
And so this definitely will be always one of those moments of sitting down and having a conversation with yourself of making sure that you do have a balanced life, because if not, um, one is going to get more attention than the other, and you might lose out and end up losing everything because it's not balanced.
Yeah.
So again, Ron, hello, 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 and everyone else that's on here, of course. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. Share the broadcast. We be having some gems on here. I don't know about everybody else, but I know whoever I bring, it's definitely going to be worth it. I think that it was pretty much that. But of course, I always have church announcements. We're going to get into the church announcements. Thank you, my love. Thank you. My first single book on my own was the Blueprint Guys Design. It is on Amazon. I do have other books that I was a part of. And I am currently working on book number 2.
Okay.
And it's going to be Prayer Changes Things.
Okay.
And I'll be working on that. Hopefully by the summer, I will have that out. So again, you're constantly working, doing something. I'm one of the type of people I have to move. I can't sit still.
Yeah.
And so you make it work. You make it work.
That's a good quality being an artist, not being able to sit still. because ideas constantly flow. You gotta put them down before they leave your brain, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Just even in those moments, I remember I was on a trip, and we were on a trip in the camera, and I wanted to be able to label my picture right then and there. So you know how we have all these pictures, and you trying to remember, where was this at? I don't remember.
Yeah.
And I slept on it. And maybe 2 or 3 months later, it was a feature on a camera to be able to label your picture while you're in there. And I was like, that should have been. And from that moment on, I was like, if it come to me, I'm doing what's necessary to copyright whatever I need to do, because that right there, you can't even imagine how many times, even back in the day, we printed out these pictures and we don't remember the date, we don't remember where we were, we just know we were there.
Absolutely.
That's it. And so to be able to label that, I was just so done with myself. Like, okay, God, I got it.
Yeah,
I sure do.
Yeah, it's times I woke up out my sleep with some lines, and I had to tell myself, if I don't get up, put this down, then it's a wrap in the morning. So it's a requirement.
Absolutely, I get it. I have even been, delivering the mail at one point, and lyrics have come, or even a beat or something, and I had to hum it like in a voice note. Like I'll come back, and figure out all the other stuff. But in this moment, record it, sing it, write it, name it, whatever. So I can go back and say, okay, now that I'm in a quiet place, let's put this together, and go from there. If you want to continue to see and support this platform, there's a Cash App at Sunshine Camila. Of course, I always thank you for all that you do, whether it's sharing the broadcast and doing what is necessary to keep my name in the room. I appreciate you as always. This has been sponsored by Blacktop Streetball Association, btsba.com. If you know anything about AN1, my sweetheart, my big brother, Main Event, this is his baby. So soon and very soon, you will see all the young men that we loved being owners of teams and all of that stuff all over again, bringing back the culture that should have been us. Of course, as you know, they are big time ties to hip hop. So who knows? I might be able to drop Swifty name to Main Event to be on whatever they're gonna do.
Yeah, I'm a basketball fan. I'm a ball fan.
Now.
So let me know. Let me know, Sunshine. Let's put it together.
Matter of fact, you know what? I'm gonna do you one even better. I will call him tonight.
Okay.
And say, I have an artist that I would love to see. Whether they come here and open up, whatever. Excuse me. Even you know that N1 had think.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
I don't
golf today culture real strong, Game.
So,
literally.
whether it's I think they had some people with excuse me.
God bless you.
Some of all the New York cats and that they have relationships with now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna definitely do that just for you.
Okay.
I'm definitely gonna do that.
Thank you. And in the future, let's go ahead and put something together. You know what I'm saying? Do a Sunshine and Swifty collaboration or whatnot. Do it for the culture.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm with it.
Whatever, as we say, creativity. I don't know where it's gonna go at this point. Just to be able to do it is all fine by me. All fine by me. If you have people that you want to see on here, or you feel have an awesome story to tell or promote themselves, you can inbox me on Facebook. You can inbox me on IG at any of those. Of course, it would definitely be me responding, so no worries. You can email me. Also, I quickly respond. So, again, another event that I will be remiss to not mention, our girl Crystal P.
Crystal P
is celebrating 20 years in entertainment. Her More Than the Eyes Can See will be Saturday, March 16th at 7 p.m. for Community and Performing Arts Center, 15801 Michigan Avenue in Dearborn. You can go to Crystal P's Facebook page or her social media to find out where the tickets are. But I promise you, this is somebody you do not want to miss. I missed it last year because I couldn't miss rehearsal for Perilous Times. And I heard about the show and I was so upset that we couldn't leave. So this time around this year, I will not miss her. Also, TT is working with her. Demetrius Neighbors, who I will have on soon, is with her as well. So it's just amazing to be around these awesome, I'm say celebrities, awesome people who are doing awesome, great things. Let me go back to, if you want to support Swifty on his merchandise, TT, where did you put it? Where is it? I have been flashing that to get all things D12.
Allthingsd12.com. We actually got this jacket right here too. If y'all are interested in it, it's the Purple Pills jacket. Purple Pills is a self-titled one of our singles off our first record. It's got a lot of hats, got a shirts, got a lot of gadgets, Bluetooth speakers. We got it all. So, let's see what's popping.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to support D12. We're going to support Swifty. Of course, as always, we keep our artists in prayer. Be vigilant. Be watchful. Things are happening so fast. And I don't want, of course, anything to happen to amazing stars, amazing lights in the world. So we definitely want to keep you in prayer.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Also, she didn't make me forget what I was about to say. Also, remember to support the Canadian tour with D12 and Obi Trice. We definitely want to do that. 42 dates, so that's amazing. So we want to continue to, of course, strengthen them with, the little things of eating right, water, exercising, rest, all these wonderful things that sometimes we take for granted. We definitely want to make sure that they killing it out on this stage, okay?
Thank you. I thank you so much for bringing that up, Queen, because on the road it's really hard to eat healthy out there. So I appreciate you for shining a light on that request, that we get that going on, because sometimes it's really, really hard. So I salute you on that.
I do have some, I'm not sure how they do that, but I do have one of the ladies, she does vegan food.
Okay.
Actually selected to do food for Erykah Badu when she came here.
Okay.
So if you are interested, I can pass her information to you while you're all over there, since we're still close. If the food thing is not happening, let us sister know. We can, like I said, we rubbing elbows. Everybody can eat. And of course it's Black owned.
Gotta be dope. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. What else did I have to say? I think that was it. So again, I appreciate your time to sit down with me and have a conversation. You just got back from a trip, vacation. I know you want to, maybe get some rest, spend some time before whatever has to happen. Also, last words will be to you, and then I'll be back on Tuesday. What do I have Tuesday? Hold that thoughts.
Okay.
This Tuesday, I have Matthew Beebe, who's a worship leader. And when I tell you Matthew ain't no joke, so I'll be back on Tuesday with him. And then that Thursday, I will have Hank Bilal, who's a trombone player. And when I tell you he's no joke, so we're going to keep an eye on that. Again, as always, I believe in 6 degrees of separation. You're literally one person away, one advice away, and one help away from where you need to be in your destiny. Proven over again since I started this show in 2020. So, Swifty, you have the last words.
I just want to say, first of all, thank you for allowing me to chop it up with you. Big shout out to everybody who's in Canada that'll be watching, that'll be coming to the shows. And I just want to say that God gave you a gift called life, and what you do with it is your gift back to God. I salute you, Sunshine.
Well, I salute you. Of course, much success. I'm not even worried about it. I know God has definitely have you covered. As He has showed to you when you were 5. You are walking out the vision and the purpose that He has for you. Again, I thank you. I thank TT for even thinking about me to even have you on here. Again, I take our relationship not lightly. I really, really, truly love her. I love you. And definitely we will be doing a collaboration. Whatever it's going to be, it's going to be. Again, I will see you guys on Tuesday at 7 p.m. right here. Let people know that Sunshine is in the building, and I will see y'all soon. Peace.
Peace. Thank you, Queen. Peace.
No problem.
Yes, yes.